All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed the return of the floating head back in the heart of America. This is Dalescenter. And I am your host, Dale Tanhart. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the newest edition of Dalescenter. I think we're on episode number 11. Thanks to everybody that tuned in last week at Hooters in Daytona Beach. It was an absolute fucking blast. And we had a huge weekend. Austin Dillon getting the dub, talked about all week. David Reagan top 10 at 10-1. It was a great weekend, even though we had Xfinity Series pain. Hopefully we don't get that anymore. We all know the Xfinity Series is not a sport. F1 is more of a sport than the NASCAR Xfinity Series, confirmed. And it is not debatable, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get right into it. I see everybody in the chat. Welcome back. Appreciate you guys coming back. Another week of winners, hopefully, and I feel really confident about it. Shout out to my guys, Austin Cindric, permanently dead to Dale, and then David Starr, permanently a 401k theft champion. We all know the story about David Starr. 2021 Homestead stole thousands of dollars from me in that race when he crashed into Noah Gragson. Going to be talking about Noah Gragson a little bit later in the show as well. But welcome back, everybody. Let's see some chat. Hell's Bell. Hey, Alex, right now, pole position. I don't know if that line has shifted, but I already locked in Christopher Bell to win the pole at 18-1. He's got a weak qualifying group. The qualifying groups are important here because they're kind of based off of last week's results, which were completely not the norm compared to what we typically would see at any other racetrack other than Daytona and Talladega. So the qualifying groups are a little more mixed up. C-Bell has an easy qualifying group. If he doesn't wreck, there's a 100% chance he makes the top 5 in his group and is there at the end. So at 18-1, C-Bell to win the pole, crazy. I don't know if that line's moved or not. Somebody might have to check that for me. Troy, what do I need to hear? Chase Elliott, friend of GG's, 2020 champ. Okay. Talk about the guy that won in a million. Is it true? Oh, wait, Troy. I'm confused. I thought this was Troy too. Talk about that guy. Dude, okay. Are you talking about the dude that hit the super mega parlay? That was true. And it wasn't me. Was not me. A guy named Cullen, Cullen, gave out like a crazy parlay to his Discord, and a bunch of people hit it. But the one guy that became a millionaire was due to advice from Rotodoc and Fantasy Racing Online over on their podcast called Stacking Denny's, where they gave advice on kind of, like stacking the back and how they correlate when it comes to Daytona. And that guy took their advice and parlayed all of them, and it hit, and he turned $13 into $1 million. Chase Elliott, friend of GG's, 2020 champ. Kyle Larson, friend of GG's, 2021 champ. Tyler Reddick, friend of GG's. I see. Troy, good observation. Greg Mathern, appreciate you. Yes, Christopher Bell still is at 18-1 via DraftKings Sportsbook. Speaking of DraftKings, our Sportsbook, I should say, I'm just going to get right into the odds as we typically do. I think last week was a little bit different, had the rhythm thrown off. So let's start off. Let's look at the Southern 500 odds for this Sunday's race. Kyle Larson, the favorite, at plus 550. KFB Hamlin at 7-1. Chase Elliott 8-1, way overpriced. Tyler Reddick 8.5-1. Then you got Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr. is in prison. I don't care what his odds are. Doesn't matter. These odds are courtesy of Barstool Sportsbook, by the way. I want to know what you guys think. What lines? I'm so fucking nasally today, dude. I want to know what lines stick out to you guys as we look at these lines at the bottom of the screen as they continue to tick by. I know Greg Mathern, G Money, aka NASCAR Titan Greg, who writes for GarageGuysFantasySports.com, kind of likes Kyle Busch. He got him at a better price than what you're seeing right here at plus 750 via Barstool Sportsbook. I'm starting to come around to Kyle Busch this weekend. After reading what Greg had to say, watching a couple old races. I think Kyle Busch might be pretty tough to beat this weekend, but I really like Denny Hamlin. I don't like plus 550. I think I'm willing to wait post qualifying on Denny Hamlin because they have fucked up qualifying a lot this year, and they've also been really good at qualifying. I just feel like if Denny gets the pole or qualifies top 5, his line is not gonna move much. So I'm willing to take that versus if he fucks up in qualifying, then we see some line movement based off of not having track position. Remember, this is a 500-mile race. It's kind of a lost art in NASCAR, right? We don't have a lot of 500-mile races left on the schedule anymore like we used to. There's a considerable amount, but this is a crown jewel event, and Denny Hamlin has 4 wins at this racetrack, has been an absolute stud here at Darlington, multiple Xfinity Series wins. This is like his playground, and I am probably going to be on Denny Hamlin at some point. I'm just not going to take plus 550 or plus 600. I'm going to take my chances and wait and see if he messes up in qualifying. Obviously, the soreness, the fact that Denny Hamlin is now out of the Xfinity race because he's just sore basically. Had some back pain, had some pretty tremendous body movement in that wreck at Daytona last week. So that's kind of a factor for some people. I don't think it'll be a factor in the race. I'm kind of looking to see if Denny kind of just messes up going too hard in qualifying or has a mistake in practice or something. Even if he crashed his car in practice, I would still bet on him in the race. And that would actually put him at like 10-1 probably. So I would love if that happened because I don't care if Denny wrecks the car or not. If he wrecks his primary, they got to fix it. He's still going to be tough to beat. So I really like Denny Hamlin, just not at that price. Joey Logano, I feel like is a little overpriced, 6.5-1. The conditions compared to the spring, which the spring race was won by Joey Logano. Oh, yeah, there we go. We've already made some influence. Tommy, it's a good line. Appreciate you, Greg. 18-1. Got to hit that ASAP. Truex, lock him up. Prison, Illuminati. Nope. I appreciate you. Hold on. Just so we're clear. That's where Martin Truex belongs. Prison, motherfucking prison. Martin Truex Jr. And last week was so beautiful because everything I hate, everything just went perfectly on Sunday. I picked Austin Dillon. He wins. He bumps this guy out of the way who's permanently dead to me, Austin Cindric. Bumps him out of the way with 2 to go. And Martin Truex Jr. misses the playoffs because of that move, and I win a shit ton of money. It was like a Dale Earnhardt wet dream. If you know me, if you know how I feel about Truex, if you know how I feel about Austin Cindric, and you know also the tragedy that has been Daytona for me on betting. Like Daytona, I've been so close so many times in Cup, Xfinity, and trucks. I've been so fucking cursed. So for that to happen in that fashion, it was a Dale Earnhardt wet dream. Anyway, dude, Skit God, yes, it was. It was absolutely the AC Delco energy. You're absolutely right. Dr. Piggles, good to see you. The best username in this chat. 2 weeks in a row now. Dr. Piggles. What a fucking name, dude. That's energy. You don't even have to say anything, Dr. Piggles. You just automatically bring the energy, and I appreciate you. Nick Hook, 10-1. I think that's what Greg got Kyle Busch at. So if I can get him at 10-1, I'm thinking about it. I'm kind of wanting to wait more on practice and qualifying, though, because I was kind of getting into the spill. Track conditions are going to be a lot different than they were in the spring. And we have that transition from daylight into nighttime. It's also a 500-mile race instead of a 400-mile race. So I think there are different factors. And then you add the playoff narrative into this, which has proven year to year to be a factor in race winners. Like playoff drivers win the vast majority of races. So you've got just a substantial number of different factors versus what you had in the spring. You also had a massive pileup in the spring that took out a lot of contenders like Truex, Denny Hamlin, Kurt Busch were all pretty fast and were involved in this big wreck. That's not a typical thing you see at Darlington, like multi-car pileups, it's almost unheard of actually over the past half decade, maybe full decade at Darlington. And for the majority of the races, you just don't see that. I don't think we see that this time. Now that we've kind of got these cars more figured out versus what was that race? April? Was that in April? That was very early in Gen 7. It was very cold outside. Conditions were just so different. And it's going to be a different race. So that makes me not want to take Joey Logano at that price. I think he's overpriced. Ross Chastain certainly has good value even at 900, even though he opened at 15-1. And I know a bunch of guys hopped on that. I still think Chastain has value at 9-1. And then once you get past Truex at 9-1, oh shit, I'm looking at qualifying right here. You're seeing the right ticker though. Chastain's 10-1 on Barstool Sportsbook. I've got qualifying pulled up right here on this list on my other monitor here. So yeah, you got okay. That makes sense. When I saw Logano at plus 650, I was like, what the fuck? There is just no way. Scott, good to see you. Dale, good to see you. This guy was at Hooters, had a good ass time on that Thursday night. Larson did have a great car, but the theme of Larson's year in the Cup Series is like self-inflicted errors. And he hasn't seemed to be able to shake that, right? Except for Watkins Glen. Regan Smith type winner. I don't think so. Willie B is just so cold, man. And that's another thing. Like Willie B was a factor every single race at this time in the spring, and he has not been a legitimate factor over the past 2 or 3 months. So I'm not sure about Willie B. Yeah, Chris, I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody that was confused on that. Joey Logano is not 6.5-1 to win this race. He's more like 10-1. And I still think that's a little overpriced. And I know that might sound crazy because he won here in the spring, but before the spring, Joey didn't have the best Darlington resume, I must say. Martin Truex Jr. is at 11-1. Then you have a steep drop-off to Willie B, Kevin Harvick. Seems like everybody and their grandmother's on Kevin Harvick. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Kevin Harvick just yet. I'll have to think about it. I want to see you guys' thoughts on Kevin because I'm such in a limbo about how I feel about Kevin Harvick that I really don't know. I don't know my opinion. If you could have grabbed him for a top 10 when that line was like close to even money, awesome. Anything else right now, kind of uncertain to what I'm feeling. I'm not so sure about C. Bell, Ryan Blaney to win this race. Then you have a steep fall off to Bowman at 30-1, Daniel Suarez 40-1. I am interested in Chase Briscoe at 50-1. And looking back to the spring, as I said, there were different factors. The weather was totally different. We have another extra 100 miles for this race. The transition from day into night, you had different guys that were hot in the spring that aren't, and vice versa to where we are right now. I kind of like Chase Briscoe, and part of it is a gut play for sure because they were not great here in the spring. But this is Chase Briscoe, one of Chase Briscoe's favorite racetracks, something he said. And dating back to 2020, remember his famous duel with Kyle Busch when he beat Kyle Busch in the Xfinity race. That was actually the first NASCAR race back from the COVID pandemic time where there was no sports going on. He outdueled Kyle Busch on the number 98 car, and that was like kind of his beginning in that 2020 season when he popped off. I think something like that can inspire confidence in Briscoe if he has a good race car. They clearly did not bring a great race car for him. Even Kevin Harvick didn't have a great car here earlier this year. Kevin Harvick had a good run because a lot of those contenders crashed out. Michael McDowell finished 7th in this race because a lot of contenders crashed out. It was kind of a jumbled top 10. I think Ricky Stenhouse had a top 5, top 10 run too. This isn't his best track. So there are a lot of different factors in the spring that makes me feel like we're going to see a lot of different outcomes in this race on Sunday evening. So basically, I am interested in Chase Briscoe. Oh, and to win the poll at 50-1 for Chase Briscoe, I think is 100% worth a sprinkle. The guy always sneaks up out of nowhere and just qualifies and just blows everybody away. It's happened like 3 or 4 times this year. It's been pretty unpredictable when it happens. Gateway, he did it at one of the road courses. I think that was Road America. He qualified 2nd or 3rd. And he's had a couple other strong qualifying runs too. So keep an eye on Briscoe for qualifying. I just really trust the driver talent here. I just really trust the driver talent for Chase Briscoe and kind of the momentum that Stuart Haas has had over the past few weeks with Kevin Harvick's success. I think sometimes that can bleed over to a young guy like Chase Briscoe. So for a long shot play, I like Briscoe. And I actually had talked to Greg Mathern, NASCAR Titan, a.k.a. G-Money, on the phone a couple of days ago, and we talked about Eric Jones 70-1 or 60-1. He had some pretty good speed here in the spring, guys. I know he's not a playoff guy. Former winner here when he was with JGR, Joe Gibbs Racing. And when he was with Gibbs, he was like really, really good here, like really consistent. So Eric Jones at 70-1 has had borderline top 5, top 3 speed multiple times in 2022. Also worth an underdog play as well. Red Dog 8.5 to 1. I don't know. I don't have a great feeling about Red Dog. I think they're going to qualify well. They'll qualify top 10. I think they'll run 6th to 10th all day or all night. That's kind of what I'm feeling with Reddick. And that's kind of a gut thing. And this is kind of why most of my Cup stuff, I have a couple picks posted on Action Network. You can see the link in the YouTube description below to see my exact unit allocations on a couple picks I got. Most of this stuff, I'm going to wait till after qualifying. Something feels, a lot of different things tell me that we're going to see some different qualifying results, practice results, and maybe a few surprises versus what we had here in the spring. So I'm kind of hesitant on laying a lot down before we get into actual track time. So keep that in mind. CB, yeah, Chase Briscoe. He's a full send guy, man. He really is a full send guy. Briscoe was, yes, really good here in Xfinity. Stuart Haas has had issues with that car, no question about it. Ben, good to see you. Love the profile pick. Hate Jimmy Johnson, but that's pretty cool. Plus 150 for a top 10. Not a bad play. I like that. There you go. See, that's a good point. You had guys that had green flag speed outside the top 10 that were able to get borderline top 5 runs because of the chaos that ensued. Kyle Busch had crashed out of this race because he got he ran over Brad Kay, who had just hit the wall. Multiple guys had issues in this race, and I think that's more of a product of early Gen 7 racing. So I don't think we see a bunch of that like we did in the spring. Let's talk some Xfinity. That was a long talk about Cup, but totally worth it. Kyle Larson is back in the number 17 Junior Motorsports car. He should not have won at Watkins Glen. William Byron should have won that race, but fucking Ty Gibbs. Fuck you, Ty. Little motherfucker. Full sends it into the inner loop and takes out William Byron. Kyle Larson wins the race, but we're not going to talk about that anymore. We're over it. But Kyle Larson at plus 300. C. Bell takes over for Denny Hamlin. In case you missed it, Denny Hamlin, because of the soreness, physical pain he's experienced from that crash at Daytona, he said he is out of the Xfinity Series car. Christopher Bell is going to take his spot in the number 18, which is interesting because Bell hasn't had the most success here in this series. And Denny Hamlin, I was probably going to put the house on because he has been unbelievable here over the years when he has a chance in the Xfinity Series. Ross Chastain at plus 600, overpriced, not touching it. Justin Allgaier plus 700. Everybody and their grandmother seems like they're betting on Justin Allgaier. I am not. I'm not doing it. And I'll get into why later. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I'm not betting on Allgaier. And if he wins, then fuck me. But I'll go and tell you, it's not happening. Ty Gibbs at 7 to 1. Probably not going to bet. This has actually been a bad track for Ty Gibbs in his couple starts. 2 finishes outside the top 10. Noah Gragson at 700. You can find better value on Gragson over on DraftKings. I know for a fact. Josh Berry at plus 900. Love him as well. AJ Allmendinger at 18 to 1 is interesting. Was leading this race with a few laps to go in the spring due to strategy, but hasn't been one of his best tracks. Sam Mayer had some speed here in the spring at 20 to 1. John Hunter Nemechek at 25 to 1 had some really good speed here. I expect that car to be pretty fast. Problem with that 26 Sam Hunt Racing team is pit road. Can they keep it together on pit road and not destroy his track position? That is the one key with John Hunter Nemechek in this ride. Darlington is a great track for this kid. Trucks or Xfinity has been a great track for him over the years. Brandon Jones at 28 to 1. Daniel Hemrick. I just don't care about any of these other guys. Sheldon Creed at 60 to 1. Do we bet on Sheldon Creed again? I need someone to convince me why we should bet on Sheldon Creed because I just don't know if I can do it anymore. And I'm kind of at the point where, like, if he wins and I don't bet on him, I'm just going to be like, you know what? I'm not even sad because I tried it. I gave it enough tries. I'm not giving up on Sheldon at all, but we're coming up on some tracks that I'm not sure about. He didn't get hardly any experience here in the spring because he blew an engine on like lap 8, and I had the house on him that day. But I need someone to convince me why we should bet on Sheldon Creed. And even when we see some matchups involving Sheldon, I know I see Creed over Castle on DraftKings Sportsbook. If I had to pick one, I would pick Creed because Landon Castle's resume here is not great throughout his entire career. But Sheldon Creed at 60 to 1, Riley Herbst at 60 to 1. Not touching anybody else at this 100-1 group. So let's get into IndyCar Portland. I'll touch on some Xfinity picks later when we get to the top 5. There's a few things I like, but IndyCar Portland. This will be an interesting race. If we remember Portland in the Xfinity Series, that turn 1 is the most treacherous turn in NASCAR. And we've only raced there once, maybe twice. I think the trucks used to race there, but that turn 1 is also crazy for the IndyCar Series, where everybody fucking piles up. They miss the corner. They do it in IndyCar too. And I expect, I'm not going to say a shit show for this race, but I think it'll be exciting. Joseph Newgarden is a favorite, co-favorite with Pat O'Ward at plus 400. Scott Dixon at 7-1. Scott McLaughlin 7-1. Alex Palou plus 850. Will Power plus 850. Colton Herta plus 900. Then you have a drop to Ericsson and Alexander Rossi at 13-1. Romain Grosjean. If there's anything I could tell you regarding matchups, maybe even some group bets if you have that on Caesars. I haven't actually checked on group bets. Not really my thing. But if you can find some matchups, fade Romain Grosjean. This track was a fucking disaster for him last year. I mean, he had so many incidents from practice to qualifying to the race itself. It was a disaster for him. I don't care that he's in a different team now. If you can find a matchup with Grosjean in it, I really don't care who he's going up against. I would take the opposition. So if I can give some advice there. I know we're kind of late getting some IndyCar matchups up on most books. Caesars might have some, but I'm not totally for sure on that because even they have been weird with their odds. Like, I couldn't even find them earlier today. I thought they had taken them off the board, but they were so fucking hidden. It made it insanely hard to find them, and I don't understand why that is. Graham Rahal is an interesting one at 40-1. He played strategy well last year and almost had this race in a stranglehold, but the way cautions fell kind of took him out. Strategy is interesting here because last year especially, there was a lot of cautions, and if you get caught not pitting when a caution comes out, you're just going to lose all your track position. So guys get real aggressive with undercuts if you look at past races, especially in 2021. But two guys that stick out to me are Will Power and Alex Palou. Two guys that have won here before. Will Power's been great here. And on certain road courses in 2022 has also been great and is a championship contender. Will Power, I already locked in on DraftKings at plus 900. And I also locked in Alex Palou at plus 850. Unfortunately, I realized that Alex Palou is plus 1,000 on Caesars Sportsbook because I couldn't find the line. So if you want some more value on Palou, check out Caesars before we get to practice tomorrow. First practice at 4:30 Eastern time tomorrow for Portland, I believe. I'll look at some comments here. We got some comments loaded up. All right. Referring to the Xfinity Series, Troy V says, I think Larson will dominate. Allgaier top 3, Gragson top 5. I like that a lot, actually. Kyle Larson's really good at Darlington, whether it's been Cup, primarily Cup, but he's a good Darlington racer. And then Justin Allgaier, Noah Gragson. We know Junior Motorsports is going to be strong. Okay, Gavin, he's right. It's not a sport. So for the NAS, like in my betting card, I always call it NASFinity. The NAS is not a NASCAR acronym anymore. The acronym NAS stands for Not a Sport Finity. That's what we're doing from now on. NASFinity, but the NAS stands for Not a Sport. That's what's going to happen. Until we win again, it is Not a Sport Finity. Just want to throw that out there. All right, is this the best I got? Bet on Creed because he's due, quote unquote. That's pretty compelling. 2-car 1 comparison track at Homestead. I don't know. Well, that's a reach. But Jasper, I appreciate you. That is a reach. Yeah, Sheldon has been very snake bit. Illuminati, however you say it. Give me Will Power, absolutely. REG Customs. Dale, give us the Darlington $1 million deal for this. I've been making $1 million parlays. Like, I've been playing around with them, and I'm trying to find one to make because I'm so envious of that guy that won that money that I have to be the next one to win $1 million. I have been making them, REG, and I'll give you guys one later. Did not know this. Ben, who's a huge IndyCar guy, big on the IndyCar scoop. Grosjean also crashed in testing last week. This place has been terrible for him. If what I said wasn't enough, now you have that too. Like as of a week ago, 2 weeks ago, he crashes. Okay, Gavin, Palou, top Honda at plus 5. That's what Rotodoc Rotodoc was tweeting about this. I like that play. Definitely like that play. I think there's a lot of value there. Fade Creed can't finish races. That's Cody Zeeb. I mean, that's true. Like he's a beast. We know he's a wheel man, but he's been so snake bitten. He's made some mistakes too, and I think that's part of just being a rookie. But Sheldon Creed has had a lot of bad luck in 2022, and there's no doubting that. But when he wins, it's going to surprise everybody. That's the thing. The race he wins is going to surprise everybody, and that is what I'm scared of, and I don't want to miss out on. But if I'm getting to that point where it's like if I do miss out, it's like, you know what, whatever. I tried my best. I used correlation in the Truck Series, his talent level to try to predict that win. It's kind of like if I miss it, it's like, oh well. But there's an IndyCar preview as well. I'm going to have a couple IndyCar picks later. I've already told you a couple IndyCar picks for the Portland Grand Prix. So now let's get into the Netflix Club special. Last week, my guy Cody Zeeb did an awesome job. His first appearance on the show went 2 for 3, and his bets accumulated a net of 3.6 units. Hit 2 of his 3 bets. One of them was Verstappen to win, and the other one was, I believe, George Russell over Leclerc. It was a head-to-head matchup that hit. I know that. I deleted the banner for it, but we're gonna get my guy Cody Zeeb in here. Welcome him back to the show. Remember, if you profit money, you are welcome back to the Netflix Club at any time. If you give me losers and your bets accumulate a net loss, you're kicked out of the Netflix Club. Not permanently, but temporarily. So I'm going to get my guy Cody in here, and we will get the Netflix Club bets underway. There he is. Let's get the nice looking. Boom. Welcome to Netflix Club bets. Cody, you got me.
What's up, Dale? How's it going?
Hey, it's good to see you when it's not a psychopath environment at Hooters, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. I love that environment, but it's nice to be back in the heart of America. I got a little bit of Hooters with me with Chase Elliott, obviously, but we're going to pivot here to Formula One. The Netflix Club bets. As I said, Cody Zeeb is the first Formula One guest on my show who went positive, went 2 for 3 on bets last week. If your average bet was $50, you rode every bet he gave, you would have cleared $150 plus. So to put that in perspective, let's see if you got more winners. Oh, actually, let's see this real quick. I got to get your one little thing here on the production side because I fired my assistant again. So I'm
you guys go through assistants like crazy. As the Xfinity Series writer for Garage Guys, I'm kind of scared for my job.
Yeah. Hey, you're right. Hey, that's a good thing. Having a sense of urgency can help you out, though. But
that's right. I got to keep giving out winners, or Cody. I'm gone.
Hey, take it away. Give us your first pick, your top play number 3 for the Dutch Grand Prix. That is for this Sunday.
Yep, Dutch Grand Prix. Top pick this week is going to be Carlos Sainz Jr. over Charles Leclerc. This is at plus 140, and for some reason, Leclerc keeps getting love from the books, and I don't understand. And that was one of the bets last week that I really hit on big time on our F1 Gambling podcast show. He's not been finishing races. Ferrari does everything they can to mess it up for him. And it's just issue after issue. Last week, they put the wrong tires on for qualifying. I mean, can we make any more basic mistakes to screw this guy over? So his teammate, Carlos Sainz, is a good, solid guy. He's not necessarily going to win every single race or be up front all the time, but he's a good, solid finisher week in and week out. He's beat Leclerc head-to-head 3 races in a row, and in 5 of the last 6 races, and you're still getting them at plus 140. So plus 140 for 1 unit. I really like this Sainz over Leclerc.
Yeah, it's funny. I was making parlays. I mentioned it earlier. I'm trying to find that $1 million parlay. In order to do that, I think I need to include a Formula One bet of some sorts. So I might have to take your advice. We were kind of discussing a few things in the Garage Guys Discord, but Carlos Sainz is a guy I had my eye on. And I know
you were looking for him to win, though, right?
I like the top 3. The top 3 was like even money, minus 105?
Yeah, top 3 you could probably go with. That's definitely more safe. To win, I wouldn't bet on anybody but Max Verstappen right now. It's
he's red hot, right?
Above everyone. Yeah.
3 wins in a row. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But yeah, 3 wins in a row for Max Verstappen. I'm just kind of one of those guys that feels like the luck's got to turn at some point. But
This isn't luck, man. He's good. He's won 9 of 14 races on the season. The team is firing on all cylinders. He's good. The only thing that can beat him is himself. If he gets in an accident, if he has a mechanical failure or something like that, but no other car is going to be able to catch him or keep up with him. I don't think for the rest of the season. It's going to be tough for anybody to catch him at any point this season. I think he's just head, shoulders, and more above everyone else right now.
I got you, dude. Well, that's good insight. I want to go with my gut so bad on this kind of stuff, but I don't have enough knowledge to know what it's going to be like. I see the numbers and I get kind of pushed away because I'm used to the lavishness of plus 800, plus 700 on the NASCAR, IndyCar
as a NASCAR
side.
guy that's gotten into Formula One, it is very, very different. And we talk about this on our podcast, but a lot of times you got to just lay juice with these F1 bets. There's so many things that, of course, it's still gambling and there's unknowns and it's racing. Anything can happen. But there's so many more like known things in F1. Whereas in NASCAR, I mean, you would never lay minus money, lay juice for somebody to win one of these races. It's insane. But in F1, it's totally different. And sometimes laying the juice is the way to go. Now you can find other fun stuff. I hit a 33-1 on a fastest lap earlier in the season with Lewis Hamilton, a plus 850 a couple weeks ago on our podcast. So you can find other stuff that gets you the plus money, gets you the more NASCAR feeling bets. But a lot of stuff in F1, you got to lay the juice. But as I always say, you only pay the juice if you lose. And if you're not losing, you're not paying any juice.
Hey, there you go. That's a good point. There's a reason why they call it the juice. And speaking of the juice, this next bet you have is somewhat juicy. Go ahead and lay it out there for me.
Yeah. Which one you got up next? Is it the Verstappen one?
No, actually the Leclerc.
No, Leclerc. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So Leclerc we just talked about him, to not finish on the podium. Again, for whatever reason, this is almost like if Jimmy Johnson was still racing and they're giving him odds like he's won a bunch of races, but he's driving like he was at the end of his career. It just doesn't make any sense. We know that he's talented. We know that he's got a good car when it's just out there and nobody's messing it up for him. But the results are not there. He's not gotten a podium in 3 straight races, and in 8 of the last 9, he's not finished on the podium. So 9 races out of 14 this season is a hell of a sample size. In 8 of the last 9, he's not made the podium, and you're still giving me. So we hit this on our podcast last week at plus 100. This week it's plus 130. So I don't know why they're giving us the gift of plus money on this, but the numbers clearly show he's not been able to get it done lately. Now we do know that he can get it done, but with the fact that he's not been able to, I just got to keep riding against him because, again, it's the proof's in the numbers, and I'm going to go against the name value of it and go with what he's actually shown us lately at plus 130 to not finish on the podium.
I love it. A lot of big stats in there. I'm a big stat guy most of the time, so obviously I appreciate that. And pivoting here, we talked about this guy briefly for a second, and this was the guy that was the main catalyst of your picks last weekend, and that is Max Verstappen. So I want to hear what you think about this. We talk about laying the juice. This is more juice right here, and this is like super mega juice.
Laying the juice. Laying the juice, like I just said, you would never bet this in NASCAR. A minus 170 to win the race, absolutely not. But in F1, I just talked about it. He's the only person who can beat himself right now. It doesn't. Last week he started 14th, shot his way to the lead, had the most dominant race of the season. I think he won by 17 seconds over second, 26 seconds over third. Just not anywhere close. Now he goes back to his homeland. This is the Dutch Grand Prix. He's a Dutch driver, grew up about 2.5 hours from where they're going to be racing. You know how it is in NASCAR. These guys go home. It's even bigger here. These guys are all over the world racing on different continents and in different countries. Now he gets to go home in front of his friends and family and show them, hey, I'm the reigning champion. It's almost impossible for anyone at this point to catch him to win the championship this year. He's going to be back-to-back world champions in F1, and he is unstoppable. I don't like to give out a minus 170 winner, but I'm here to make money, and I'm here to come back next week because I made money. And Max Verstappen to win is how you're going to do that. And you throw 3 units down on this, you could be up 1.7 units. Like I said, you only pay the juice if you lose. Betting Max Verstappen, it's hard to lose. He's won 9 of 14. He's on a couple in a row. He won. So the Dutch Grand Prix was run up until 1985. They stopped racing it. Went back there last year, and he was able to qualify on the pole. He was able to win the race. Little tease for you: if you want to find a way to bet him at plus money to win by throwing in fastest lap and pole race or pole winner and stuff, we gave that out earlier tonight over on the F1 Gambling Podcast. So definitely check that out. But man, even at minus 170, he's that good that I can't not bet him to win this race.
That is some confidence. If you're betting that line, that is some hella confidence. And I see why you're riding it again. 9 of 14 wins. 9 wins and 14 starts in 2022 is a wild, wild number. Real quick, Cody, before I let you go, I'm going to let you say your plugs, everything you got going on once again. Who drives the number 3 car in Formula 1?
Man, numbers
is there a 3?
I don't know if there is a 3. Numbers aren't a big thing in Formula 1. Like, they're real tiny on the car. You can't even hardly see them. Like, I know more of these guys' numbers from their Twitter handles than I do from actually like seeing them on the car. It's so weird, but like number is just, it's never a thing they reference. Like, that's how you identify a car in NASCAR. And I'm so used to that. But in F1, it's like there just isn't, numbers is like not a big thing to them. I mean, there's numbers on the car, but you can't hardly see them. They don't ever talk about it. It's weird. It's F1's a different thing. And like, if you don't know about me, I'm a lifelong NASCAR guy. I've been doing NASCAR my entire life, big on NASCAR betting. And I've just recently gotten into F1 really within the last year or so and into the betting on it. But it's definitely a different animal, as you can see with the minus 170 to win. Not something you would do in NASCAR, but there's still plenty of ways to be very profitable over there. And it's a fun way. You wake up early. I mean, I'm in Central Time Zone, so they're usually racing about 8 a.m. here. So you wake up, roll over, flip the TV on. My wife's always a little mad about that. Why we're starting the day off with racing already, but oh well.
Love that. Before we let you go, Cody, Daniel Ricciardo is number 3, and I wanted to bet on the number 3 because I shaved the 3 steps into my mullet, and then the number 3 won last weekend with Austin Dillon. So I kind of wanted to ride the wave in some way, shape, or form. I don't think I can bet on Dillon to win Darlington. So I was looking to see who the number 3 was, and I don't know if I can bet on Ricciardo either because I know it's been a really tough year for those guys. But before I let you go, real quick, tell us where to find you on Twitter, social media, and your podcast as well.
Speaking of where to find me, if you check out the NASCAR Gambling Podcast, I like to give out a long shot winner every week. I was on Austin Dillon like you guys were last week, 30-1. That was a hell of a hit. Austin Dillon's 50-1 this week. We talked about him on the podcast. Go put a little bit on him, Dale. He finished second here 2 years ago in the Southern 500. He's won the Coke 600 before.
He's won the big one.
He's good at those long races, those grueling races, that extra 100 miles. You know, people are going to look back to the 400-mile race earlier this season. Now it's 500 miles. It makes a difference. At 50-1, it's worth a sprinkle at least. But
that's how I feel about Briscoe. But he finished second in that race because Truex and Elliott were battling
everybody
for the lead
wrecked out.
Each other in the wall.
And it's a shorter race. He's a younger driver. Austin Dillon, 50-1.
All right, I like it. I like the juice. Check this guy out. Cody Zeeb. Hopefully we'll see you back next week in the Netflix Club. My dude, I appreciate you, and good luck this weekend, my friend.
I will see you next week. Take care, Dale.
Love the confidence. That's what I like to see, baby. Let's get it. All right, that's Cody Zeeb, and that is Netflix Club Bets. So I guess it is time to do the Wall of Dale real quickly. This is where we should play. I want to get my music back on. My music. I'll put that in the background a little bit. What do you guys think? Any F1 guys in here that are real tuned into the betting side of things? Oh, wait, I just saw this. Tire is F1 is still a thing? It is. It's actually really popular, but I feel you in a way. It's been a topic on Twitter talking about like F1 elitists. I'm a Truck Night in America elitist. All right, like truck's better than F1, confirmed. But F1 is very popular, and I like the plays again. I like the plays. I mean, rolling with a guy that's had the hot hand is not a bad move, I would say, talking about Max Verstappen. But nonetheless, let's shift back into NASCAR real quick, and let's talk about the Wall of Dale. So I a couple weeks ago I said I'm gonna change it up. I'm tired of keeping up with these specific unit counts on drivers, at least like writing them all down on the fucking paper, because I'm running my expensive photo cards from Walgreens. So I'm just gonna tell you the Wall of Dale guys, based off my confidence in them this weekend and what they've done to me in the past life, aka Austin Cindric, David Starr, fucking dead to me in prison, or 401k theft champion, and then Martin Truex Jr. Ooh, that sounded loud. Prison for life, forever, ever. Fuck you, Martin. And we get to see him in 2023 again, unfortunately. I don't really hate Martin that much. I just want you guys to know. But I hate betting on him, and I know you do too. There's a 0% chance anybody has ever enjoyed betting on Martin Truex Jr. in their life. 0% chance. And another guy that has had betting catastrophe for me is this guy, Ty Gibbs. I'm also, I'm combining past and future with this kid. I think it's a good time to fade Ty Gibbs. You see him in matchups. You see him to win. I just wouldn't touch it. It has not been a good track for him in his 2 career starts at all. Both finishes outside the top 10. Didn't have a winning car, or wasn't a winning driver. And it's a tough track for rookies. And it has been a tough track for Ty Gibbs in both of his starts. Plus, Junior Motorsports has just been superior at this kind of racetrack in 2022. I'm going to fade Ty Gibbs and remind myself of the pain he's caused me throughout the year. See that? Ty Gibbs, dead to Dale. This is kind of a random one, but it will come back up later in the show in some capacity. Guys always love to bet on this guy I'm about to show you, and I just don't get it. I don't get why, but that's Michael McCheese Dick. I do love Travel Stop. Zane Smith is the man. Great guy on the truck side, but if you see Michael McDowell, even for fantasy purposes, I'd fade him. Before this year, his Darlington resume was atrocious. He got a top 10 because a lot of good contenders wrecked out. Do not forget that. You're going to see that P7, you're going to be like, ooh, there's value for Michael McDowell. He's not going to get a top 10 again. So, dead to Dale. All right, who else? I'm feeling pretty confident, so I don't have a lot of guys that I hate this weekend. I'm kind of more confident about – I'm kind of feeling better about this side of the wall. I'm feeling more confident about this side of the wall. No question about it. Okay. James is going to add Verstappen on the parlay. Not a bad move. Todd, which bets are you talking about? Type out the bets you want posted, and I'll come back to you. Dude, Slick Vic. Yeah, we have to mention Slick Vic. It's just crazy. We had our celebration of life last Saturday, and then the next day was the most profitable day in the history of NASCAR betting for the people. It just can't be a coincidence. It just cannot be a coincidence. It's fucking insane. And yeah, absolutely awesome. Hashtag bags for Slick Vic. We got him. We absolutely got him. Like I said, her family told me she was always really bad at betting, so we probably shouldn't ride it. Well, we'll end it right there. Bags for Slick Vic. We got the bags, and they were some fucking huge bags that will last us forever. So that's the important part here. Next guy up on the Wall of Dale, Josh Berry. I think Josh Berry should have won this race in the spring, but they said he jumped the start, which I went back and watched the race. He kind of did jump the start, I guess, but it looked like Allgaier went and spun his tires. If you look at that last restart with 37, 38 laps to go, Josh Berry was good here. I like Josh Berry again. You're going to see him in top place. So, Josh Berry doing it for Dale. Josh Berry's doing it for Dale. He's been great this year on profitability for the Xfinity Series, by the way. So I like Josh Berry. I also like this guy. We talked about him a little bit earlier. I don't like him at that price. I'm going to wait till qualifying and see what we can get out of him. But that is Dennis Hamlin. Denny Hamlin is going to be doing it for Dale this weekend, and he will be in top place. Just wait and see. So we got Denny and Josh Berry doing it for Dale already. Look at this. This is a positive show, right? We talked about my girl Vicky, a.k.a. Slick Vic, a.k.a. brought the bags to us last weekend. And we only got 3 guys over here. Like, this side is usually full of people that I hate. Of course, Martin Truex is in prison. He doesn't count. But usually this side is full. This side is going to be a lot more full. And by the way, I should have mentioned this earlier. Tyler Reddick and Chandler Smith, they belong in the 401k Series champions list because they have made me like a lot of money. Thousands, millions, billions of dollars net profited just from these 2 guys right here. Cannot wait for the Truck Series to be back, by the way. Cannot wait. I hate the breaks that trucks have, man. You don't get trucks again until Kansas, which is next weekend. And I feel damn good about that race already. I've already done my research, done my studying. Cannot wait. But Noah Gragson, I love when he had the mullet. Still looks good. This picture looks great. Love Junior Motorsports. This weekend, I think they're going to have tremendous speed like they did in the spring. Noah Gragson is the defending winner of this race from 2021. And I think he's going to run in the top 3, top 5 all day long. So Noah Gragson, doing it for Dale. A lot of people always tell me I look like Noah Gragson. If it was not for the hair, I just would not see it. If it wasn't for us both having a mullet at the same time, I don't see it. But Noah's a good buddy of mine, likes to drink beer, and I think he's going to win us some money this weekend. Another guy I talked about all week in the Discord. A couple other guys have talked about him too, including G Money, Greg Mathern, a.k.a. NASCAR Titan. C. Bell. I'm not talking about for the Xfinity Series. I'm talking about for Cup qualifying. At 18-1, there's a 100% chance, or 99.9% chance Christopher Bell will qualify in the top 5 on it's qualifying Saturday? I think it's Saturday. Christopher Bell will qualify in the top 5. If you think or know that Christopher Bell will qualify well, you have to bet something on him at 18-1. It is outrageous that this line has not moved. Like, what is going on? I cannot believe this line has not moved. Barstool has him at 14-1. Greg, as of about 30 minutes ago, told me the line is still at 18-1. I feel good about C. Bell. And I think a lot of people are talking about him to win the race at 20-1. He's been decent here, has had some issues, but I'm really focused on qualifying for Hell's Bell. We got to make that nickname stick. I'm so happy somebody said it in the chat earlier. Hell's Bell is going to qualify really well. Keep an eye out, 18-1 for qualifying. I feel like my mic is in the way of everything. Okay. More guys. I got 4 names right here, or 4 pictures, and I'm trying to decide. I got to go with 2 more. I'm going to go 2 more. One's going to go in the 401k because he deserves to. One of the most profitable guys for me, both of these guys have been really profitable. All right, we'll start with this guy. He hasn't won me. I haven't bet on this guy a lot this year, but when I have, he's been unbelievable for me. And that's Chase Briscoe. I'm betting on him at 50-1 to win the poll. Just put something on him that you don't care about losing. He has hit. I bet him to win at Phoenix. He got that done for me. I've hit him in multiple matchups, and I picked him to win stage 1 at Watkins Glen a couple weeks ago, and that was a fat hit. Saved my day, actually, because of that bet. And Chase Briscoe. Love this guy. He's been really good to me. So Chase Briscoe is a 401k Grand National Series champion. And then this guy right here, not my favorite. I always end up talking about him. He's not my favorite driver, but god damn it, I love it when Joseph L. brings the bag home. I think I'm going to bet on him for qualifying. At 7-1 or 8-1, I'm not sure what he's at right now. I think he opened at 8-1. Could be 7-1. I still think it's worth it for Joey Logano. Has been one of those sneaky guys in qualifying throughout the year. Kind of like Briscoe. Qualifies bad for 3 or 4 races and then comes out and has top 3 speed or top 5 speed in qualifying. Just a little bit more often than Briscoe. And he won the pole here in the spring at Darlington. I like Joey Logano this weekend for something. And I think it's going to be for a pole bet. So, combining past with future, Joey Logano has been really, really good to me. And I like him for something this week. So there you have it. This is the Wall of Dale. Look at all these drivers I like over here. That's 9 or 8 different guys versus only 4 guys that I hate. Truex is in prison. He doesn't count. Remember, like there's no hatred there. It's just prison. Playoff prison, Martin Truex Jr. He's at the absolute pit of the worst possible thing ever. And the final award, or the only award actually of this, is Sports God of the Week. It has kind of flipped around a few times. Didn't have a Sports God last week because it was Hooters, and Hooters was the Sports God. But this guy got a top 10 last week and helped somebody win $1 million and helped a lot of others win 4-5-figure dollar bets. 50 grand here, 30 grand here, 7 grand here. And he is a 7-time Sports God champion. Now an 8-time Sports God champion, BJ McLeod. I need some BJ McLeods in the chat. The hardest working man in NASCAR and the best hair in NASCAR, except for me. That is Sir BJ McLeod, 8-time Sports God champion. So there you have it. I need some applause from the chat for my guy BJ McLeod. Sports God, once again. You know, they always say in motorsports, it's like a curse when you win your 7th championship because nobody ever wins an 8th. Well, BJ McLeod just did. My head is massive, so you couldn't see right there. But BJ McLeod just won his 8th title. So he is he's in a tier of his own. Move over Dale Earnhardt, Jimmy Johnson, Lewis Hamilton. I think Michael Schumacher won 7. All those guys, move over. BJ McLeod just did it for the 8th time. Speaking of 7-time, I just want to give a drip shout out. Dale Earnhardt tie, one of my favorites. Classic red, blue, silver, good wrench. Easily one of my favorite ties. And I think this one is like a fan favorite. So I got to give a drip shout out. Before we get into the Dalescenter top plays, but it is officially time. Didn't have top plays last week. We had Hooters themed plays. But it's time for the Dalescenter top 5 plays. And I feel damn good about it because 2 weeks ago we went 3 for 5, I believe. Very profitable Dalescenter episode. Then last week at Hooters, I gave you the Austin Dillon play, the David Reagan play, which I'll give you real quick. I just want to pull those up. I got them sitting here. Boom. Just to recap, this is not for this weekend. And it actually says Coke Zero Sugar 400. I told you about Austin Dillon. He got the job done. I didn't bet the top 3 or the top 5, but I did bet the to win. And it was at 30-1 that I grabbed it at. I think I mixed up him and Eric Jones. I think Eric Jones was 35-1, and then he was 30-1. Nonetheless, a hit is a hit. 30-1. Action Network finally accounted for it. Had a massive weekend. And then this guy, David Reagan, I told you all about him last week. For a top 3, tiny sprinkle, put something on him that you don't give a fuck about. Instead of buying that next beer, you bet on David Reagan for a top 3. But then you put a little bit more. You put a 12-pack on that top 10. And now David Reagan has bought you about 6 12-packs because of that top 10 bet. So there you go. That's a recap on the good things from last week. But now we are officially in September, by the way. I can't wait to get back to my TV and watch a little bit more college football. I've already lost my first parlay of the season on college football. Couldn't be more than happy to get that feeling back again. So let's get into the Dalescenter top 5 plays. I talked about these guys already. A couple of them are on the wall. I almost put Kyle Larson on the wall, but I'm just a little too salty right now. But he's in a good standing because I've got money on him. For the Xfinity race, I think if you bet these 3 guys right here to win the Sports Clip, whatever the fuck, 350 or whatever it's called, which I'll look up the title right now just to make sure. If you're a new bettor, you can find this on the book. It's the Sports Clips Haircuts VFW Help a Hero 200. There's a reason why I didn't write that in there because holy shit, that's such a mouthful. Even though I think it's for a good cause, like for veterans or something. But yeah, the Sports Clips Haircuts Help a Hero 200. That's the Xfinity race on Saturday. I think if you bet these 3 guys, you have an excellent shot of winning. Kyle Larson is not plus 350 anymore, but there are some underground books, wink, wink, that he is still plus 350. I would check those out if you're into that kind of thing. I got the plus 350 before, or here's what happened. Whenever Denny Hamlin announced he was gone, Larson's line stayed at 350 for like another hour. So I was like, okay, well, that 350 is going to be gone here any moment now. If he qualifies on the pole, which he probably will, then that line is going to be 250. But right now, I looked like 2 hours ago, and there's some underground books that still have Kyle Larson at plus 350. I think it's totally worth it. 1.75 units on Kyle Larson to win. 100% worth it. I know Troy had mentioned earlier in this chat he thinks he's going to dominate the race. I think there's a good chance of that. Junior Motorsports is just going to have all the speed. Noah Gragson at 8-1 via DraftKings Sportsbook. Another great play. Throw a unit on that for a guy that's been sensational at this racetrack since 2021. As I said, won this race a year ago in the fall and finished second to Justin Allgaier in the spring. Was right there with them. I'm not betting on Justin Allgaier because in his entire career, full-time in the Xfinity Series, he has never truly swept a racetrack. The only time he has ever swept a racetrack was in 2020 when Richmond, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but Richmond ran a doubleheader for the Xfinity Series, and I don't know if they did it for Cup or not, but Justin Allgaier won the Friday race and the Saturday race. That's not a true sweep when it comes to, hey, we race here in the spring, and then we come back to it in the fall. That is a sweep. If you win here in the spring, and then 6 months later, you're still able to win with totally different conditions, everybody learns something, that's a sweep. Justin Allgaier has never done one of those in his entire Xfinity Series career. Why would it change this time out? Don't bet on Justin Allgaier. It's not going to happen. So I like Gragson and Josh Berry. Josh Berry was really close. I pointed out earlier, jumped the restart, that he had taken the lead from Allgaier with like 35 to go. I think Josh Berry has a lot of good juju. He was Dale Jr.'s crew chief. I don't know if that's true or not, but he was with Dale Jr. in the Sundrop car for the Cars Tour race at North Wilkesboro. That was pretty fucking cool. He's got good juju from that. And this is a racetrack that's right in his wheelhouse. I love Josh Berry at 9-1. You know, I talk about the underground books. I'd put a unit on that plus 900. Josh Berry is plus 1,500 on some underground books right now. I know my guy Skybox NASCAR knows all about that. He's got him locked in. If you know anybody, 15-1 is an absurd line for Josh Berry at this racetrack. And there are some of those little those underground books where he's 15-1. I would look into that. I'd bet at 9-1 too, though, and that's where he's at on DraftKings Sportsbook. So that's my number 5 play. I think one of these 3 guys will win the Xfinity Series race. I'll look at some comments real quick. Mississippi State spin flips. Yeah, that is my alma mater. I don't know how you are. Maybe are they playing right now? Are they playing tonight? Is that what we're talking about? Because I mentioned college football. No, they're not playing tonight. Either way, yeah. I don't know how you knew that, but yeah. Truex at this point would be leading last lap to stop on the track and purposely lose. You're goddamn right. We're not betting on Truex. Josh Berry top 5 is at plus money. I'm already on it. I appreciate you mentioning that, Troy. Already on that one. Bovada, there you go. That's a underground book. Bovada is technically plus 350. If you can find it, take it. Crew chief confirmed. Josh Berry. There you go. So that's my top. That's top play number 5 for the Xfinity Series race, aka the NASFinity race, which is not a sport finity. Remember, the NAS is not a NASCAR acronym anymore. It's not a sport Xfinity Series. So that's number 5. Number 4, I mentioned this guy earlier. He's on the wall behind me. Chase Briscoe. I particularly like the top 10 line right now. I don't know if I'm going to touch the top 5 or top 3 just yet. I might put it in a parlay, but that top 10 at plus 170 is very achievable. Or actually, hold on, that's wrong. I'll fix this real quick for you guys. That is incorrect. The line is actually plus 190. So I'm going to have to fire another assistant right here. Hold on a second. Plus 190. Yeah, plus 190 on FanDuel for a top 10. For comparison, someone like Eric Jones, who's not in the playoffs, is minus 105. I mean, did we forget that this guy is a fucking good race car driver? I know we're all looking at Darlington Spring and we're like, oh, he didn't do shit. Well, it was his first time at the track, but he didn't have a great race car. The conditions are going to be different. It's a guy that's confident at one of his favorite racetracks. Totally different race we're going to see on Sunday. Totally different race than what we saw in the spring. No question in my mind. I think when you're looking at near plus 200 for a top 10 for this guy, you got to take it. If he qualifies well, this line is going to diminish. It's going to be more closer to even money, plus 110, plus 120. I'd take it while you can. I think it could be risky because he has been an all-or-nothing guy. That's why I'm looking at the plus 5,000 as well to win and to get the pole. Love Chase Briscoe. I'm going out on a limb with this, but I have a good feeling about Briscoe this weekend for something. I think he's going to win us something. And I'm laying it all out there for you on Chase Briscoe. So that's my number 4 play. Primarily the top 10 here is what I'm focused on. Don't forget that. Number 3, somebody mentioned it in the chat. Congrats, you nailed it. Gragson over Gibbs. This has been an unbelievable track for Noah Gragson. Last 2 finishes, first and second here. Ty Gibbs, 2 starts, no top 10s. I'll take the chance at -110. If you're going to give them to me at the same price, I'm going to take Noah Gragson because we have yet to see what Ty Gibbs can do at Darlington. I know he's going to have a little bit of extra track time with his Cup qualifying, Cup practice. He's still trying to get that car figured out with 23XI. Doesn't matter to me. This has been a great track for Noah Gragson. It's right up in his wheelhouse. You ride the wall. We know how good he is at Homestead. It's a slightly comparable racetrack just because of the line they run. I wouldn't put too much thought into that, but keep it simple. Ty Gibbs has not shown us he can run top 5 here or contend for a win. Give me Noah Gragson. Give me Noah Gragson. No question about it. I don't know why that did that. All right. Number 2. Talked about him. Put him on the wall. I'm sorry, Chase. Good buddy. Still love Hooters. And I like Chase Elliott. Good dude. And he'll be the first one to tell you it's not one of his best tracks when you look at Darlington. So I'm on Denny Hamlin off the bat on this bet because this has been a playground for Denny. 4 wins in the Cup Series. He races here in the Xfinity Series because he's so good here. And he knows he can hop in an Xfinity car and win, right? He's done it before multiple times. He's 7-4 against Chase Elliott head-to-head dating back to 2015. I like Denny here at -120. Chase Elliott had like an 8th to 10th place car here in the spring. Denny Hamlin had a winning race car, had a top 3 race car, but his pit crew just failed him all day long. So I like Denny. He just typically has more speed here. If his pit crew does not fuck him over, I think he wins this matchup handily. So give me Denny in this one. I'm just going to try to keep it simple. Anything I'm betting on Cup before we get to practice, before we get to qualifying, going to keep it simple. I like Denny Hamlin over Chase Elliott. I've already got it logged in Action Network. And you can hit the link to see my picks in the YouTube description to see my exact unit allocation for this bet and my Chase Briscoe top 10 bet. So be sure to check that out too if you want to see an accurate gauge of my legitimate confidence level when it comes to units and the money I put down already. So Denny Hamlin over Chase Elliott. Keep it simple. It's been a great track for Hamlin. Has not been a great track for Chase Elliott. That's it. Number 1 play. We've been talking about this in the Discord. I know my guy Ben Carswell is on it. As soon as odds dropped, I was like, okay, this is crazy. Via Caesar Sportsbook. Just got a funny text. I'm sorry. Via Caesar Sportsbook, Will Power is +250 for a top 3 and even money for a top 5. And this has been a great track for him in 2 of the 3 years that we've run here at Portland. I love Will Power this weekend. He is so due. I'm going to keep it simple. There's going to be more guys that I bet on for this race. I like Alex Palou. I told you guys earlier. I'm already on Palou, and I'm on Will Power. Top 5 for Will Power at even money is crazy. I think it's a mortal fucking lock, and that is, in particular, my top play. But while we're at it, I figured I'd throw you the top 3. I feel good about that. And to win at +900 is excellent value. This guy is one of the best, actually, statistically, is the best qualifier in the history of the IndyCar Series. So if he qualifies on the pole, goodbye, +900. It's gone. If he qualifies top 3, +900 is gone. The 250 is gone. The +100 is gone. It's all gone. And that top 5 will be sub-zero money. Got to bet Will Power while you can. We get our first practice session tomorrow. For me, just going to try to keep it simple here. It's been a great track for him. Give me Will Power. That is my number 1 play. As I said, particularly the top 5. So I'll walk you through one more time. The Dalescenter top 5 plays. Xfinity Series. Bet Larson, Gragson, and Barry to win this race, and you'll have profit. Number 4, Chase Briscoe top 10 in particular at +190. If you want to take a stab at the other ones, I feel pretty good about it. I think he's an excellent sleeper to win this race on Sunday. The +5,000 for the pole is another thing I'm looking at. So I'm all over Chase Briscoe, but in particular here, That top 10 plus 190, I feel like is cash. Number 3, Noah Gragson over Ty Gibbs. The resumes are just not even close. Gragson has a Darlington experience, junior motorsports, way faster at this kind of racetrack in 2022. Give me Gragson over Gibbs. Give me Denny Hamlin over Chase Elliott for a similar reason. More experience, better results. Denny Hamlin is 7-4 head-to-head against Chase Elliott dating back to 2015 at Darlington. And number 1, willpower for a top 5 is the big one here. I'd put 2.5, 3 units on this if you could. 2.5 to 3 units, max play, willpower for a top 5. I'm already on the plus 900 for a win. Consider the top 3 as well. Willpower for the Portland Grand Prix, or I think they're calling it the Grand Prix of Portland to be more official here. That's my top play of the weekend. So now let's get to the fun part. I want some parlays, ladies and gentlemen. I need parlays ASAP. I need to see who's going to be the broccoli wad play of the weekend. So I want some parlays ASAP. Go ahead and just, I'll answer some questions here, but I want you guys to start flowing with the parlays. Oh my God, going through assistants like Drew Dollar goes through equipment. That's fucking hilarious, dude. That is fucking hilarious. You're not wrong. That's like the best betting advice I can give. If you ever see Drew Dollar on an entry list and you see him head-to-head against anybody, I don't care if he's head-to-head against Dale Earnhardt. You take Dale Earnhardt in that matchup, and I'm not even at the racetrack. Like, you see Garage Guy Chase versus Drew Dollar, you take Garage Guy Chase in that matchup. It's not even close. All right, Troy V. Any concerns with Hamlin and Ross? This will be coming into play into the playoffs, according to KFB. At this point, I think Denny will race Ross rough every time he's around him. Like, it's not, I don't think there's like a, at this point, I don't know if there's a time and place for the payback. If there is a time and place for the payback, it's going to come at a race that matters more. It's going to come at a situation where Ross needs to have a good day. So I don't think I'm worried about it right now. If you want to bet on Ross Chastain, I'm not super concerned. But just know, Pocono is the best example for this rivalry. Denny's going to race Ross like he raced him at Pocono, where he just kind of eased up the track and put him in the wall. That's how I think Denny will race Ross in late race situations, no matter what race it is. Like, Denny's just in that mode where he's just like, he's lost the respect. So he's going to race him how he feels like Ross looks at Denny. Like, Denny feels like Ross doesn't respect him. So Denny is going to give that back to him for the rest of 2022. I don't think he's going to blatantly just fucking wreck him in one of these early races, though, if that's what you're worried about, Troy. But I definitely would be wary of that later in the playoffs if both guys are still in there. Especially if Ross is. If Ross is in the playoff picture and Denny isn't, that's scary, right? Because Denny's like, whatever. Like, I don't give a fuck if I wreck myself. Like, the season's over. So I keep an eye on that later in the playoff run. Yeah, Trevor. Yeah, I think it's a little too early. Round of 16. Ooh, I think Ross is going to make the top 8. Yeah, DK only has outrights for IndyCar. I hate that. Caesars has top 3, top 5. If you can bet Caesars, that's where I would look right now. Okay, Gavin, I'd go 1.3, 1.4 on this one. I feel that good about it. I'll go 1.3, 1.4. Make sure your net profit is over a unit. That's kind of what I'm thinking there. All right, here's the first parlay. Verstappen win, Power win, Dylan top 5, Triple Crown, $100 wins you $7,400. Interesting. That's a good one. That's a good first one. Go ahead. I need the parlays. I need to get the banner up on the board. We need to change the topic here. I'll give you the Earnhardt Triple Crown, and then I need the broccoli wad. But the Earnhardt Triple Crown for this weekend is not going to be 3 bets. It's going to be 4 because I want to win $1 million like that one guy. I'm addicted to that idea. I'm going full betting degeneracy. I want to be a millionaire from NASCAR bets. This is the Earnhardt Triple Crown. Willpower to win, as James just said, and a couple others. Top 3, top 5 is not on DraftKings just yet. So this is via DraftKings. When we get top 3, top 5, throw power in there because that's what I prefer. I prefer willpower top 3, top 5 in this situation. Briscoe top 10, Gragson top 3, and Carlos Sainz podium finish. $100 bet would win you $14,542. That's including Will Power if he wins. If you put top 3, top 5 in there, it'd probably be more like 1,000 wins you around $6,000, $7,000. It'll probably cut it in half. But that's what I like. I like the gist of this. Like, if you want to put Briscoe top 5 at plus 600, not bad. You want to put Gragson to win, not bad. I'm probably not going to put Gragson to win because Kyle Larson's in the field, right? I would just feel stupid if I'm like, yeah, Gragson to win, and then Larson just leads every single lap. The top 3 is safer. You go Josh Berry top 5 maybe as well. So I really like this parlay, actually. As soon as we get the ability to put power in for a top 5 or top 3, I think it's actually a fucking killer parlay. Like, no doubt about it. Let's see what you guys got. That is the Tan Hart Triple Crown. All right. Troy, this is a ballsy one right here. Bubba Wallace top 5, power to win, Larson to win the Xfinity Series race. 359 to 1. That's what is Bubba for a top 5? Is he like plus 1,000, 1,200, something like that? That's a big one. That could be a million maker. Power to win, Bell Pole. Oh, I thought about putting Bell Pole in there. I really did. Power to win, Steve Bell to win the pole, Larson to win the Xfinity Series race, Verstappen to win. $100 wins you $100,000. I like that one, Gavin. I like that one a lot. Nick Hook, Gragson, Blaney, Verstappen to win. $100 wins you $28,000. Like I said, I don't want to put Gragson to win in one because I feel like Larson just might go and dominate the entire race and lead every fucking lap. And I don't want that. I need more parlays. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Tin Naka, I missed you. Here we go. Noah top 3, Bell top 3, Verstappen win. This is a good one. It's not a millionaire maker, but it's a good one. Gragson top 3, Bell top 3, Max Verstappen to win at plus 28.25. $100 wins you $28,000 if all 3 of these things happen. I like that one, Tin Naka. Bubba top 5 is 8 to 1. I feel like that's a little overpriced, but I know how they're doing it. Is that on DraftKings? I bet he's a little bit higher on Barstool, but I could be wrong. Christopher Moore, is that you playing ball in the picture on the shelf? Well, this is the Saints. Drew Brees right here, if that's what you're talking about. That's the Super Bowl. My roommate's a Saints fan. So that's Drew Brees and the Saints. Not me. That's not Dale Tanhart. Is that what you're talking about? Could it be? I don't see any other photos around me. Yeah, no. I need more parlays. I need some parlays, motherfuckers. What are we doing? Are we watching college football? If we're watching college football, it's fine. Totally acceptable. I know I feel like I've been a little bit more low energy tonight. I'm not going to lie. I get it. But this is business, motherfucker. Got a show to do. I need more parlays. Give me more parlays. I haven't seen enough. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, Dale, you have to say Super Bowl champion Saints. Yeah, I am a Panthers fan. I drink bleach on the reg, basically. Panthers are going to go 7-10, I think, with Baker. For any NFL guys. I'll be dropping first touchdown bets here in a few weeks. I fucking love first touchdown bets, by the way. Cannot wait. All right. I don't know what's going on. I'm pissed. We need parlays. I need Motorsports parlays. Christopher, it's all good. I wish that was me. I wish that was me winning a Super Bowl in 2009. That would be sick. Luminoodle. I'm just going to call you Luminoodle. Is that okay? Because it's throwing me off, the naughty part. Bubba in the 45, is it going to make a difference? No, it's the same car. It's the same everything. It's just the car number is changing. His team's not really changing. It's just the number based on what the owner's point situation looks like. It gives them an opportunity to win a championship for 23XI. Because Kurt Busch, in that number 45, the number 45 designation that Kurt Busch had, that number made the owner's championship playoffs. So you have the drivers' championship playoffs, which is what everybody sees. And then you have the Owners' Championship playoffs, which is based off the car number. It's not based off the driver in particular. Kurt Busch made that, so they're swapping just the car number. So Bubba's going to be in the same equipment he always is, and he's going to have the same team that he's had. All right, here we go. We got some more. Nick Hook, Larson double, Verstappen win. You actually can't bet Larson. You cannot parlay Larson to win both races, and I think that is so dumb. You cannot parlay the same guy to win the Cup race and the Xfinity race. All right, Kyle Busch to win, Gragson to win, Power to win, George Russell to win. That's a millionaire parlay right there. $100 wins you 1.7 million. Yeah, there you go. That's $1 million parlay. I asked about George Russell in the Discord earlier, and everybody's like, nah, don't do it. Everybody, like, I get it. Verstappen's won 3 in a row. He's got the fastest car every week. But, and I've been watching Formula One since I was a kid. Like, everybody is dealt some sort of misfortune at some point. Max had some at the beginning of the season. He's kind of due for something crazy to happen, right? I don't know. Just a thought. I hope you bet this. If you got to bet this just in case, Trevor, because it could make you a millionaire. Oh, dude, I appreciate it. I appreciate that, dude. Dover was fun, dude. I love Dover. I try to go back there every year. Troy, Hamlin win, Power win, Barry top 5, Sainz podium, $100 wins you 27 grand. That's it? Really? I feel like it would have been a lot more. I made some crazy ones earlier, dude. Like some crazy ones. Listen to this one that I made. I think I took a screenshot. I did Barry top 3, Chase Briscoe top 3, which is plus 1,400, Sergio Perez to win, and Will Power to win. The odds, if you put $100 down, you'd win $682,000. So if you put a $150 bet, you'd be a millionaire, I believe. That's Barry top 3, Briscoe top 3, Perez to win, Will Power to win. That's $1 million parlay. I'm gonna have to make one, dude. I feel too confident in myself that I can hit one of these. All right, Noah top 3, Austin Dillon top 5, Max win and Power win, plus 22,400. Not bad. I don't think Austin Dillon's gonna get a top 5. I just don't think it's gonna happen. Harvick to win, Custer top 10, Bell pole. Is that? I don't think you can parlay that. I don't think that's parlayable. Spin flips. Winners, Creed, Power, Max, Briscoe. That is a $3 million parlay based off a $100 bet. I love that one. Love that one. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could bet Sheldon Creed. But, hey, love that. All right, Greg, what you got? Briscoe top 3, Barry top... That's the one... Wait, that's similar to the one I made. Not the same exact one, but similar. I like that one. Briscoe top 3, Barry top 5, Power win, Verstappen win, 44,900. Ride the fucking wave. Yeah, and I got the three stripes. You guys are peer pressuring me on Austin Dillon. Oh, okay. This is news to me, which I don't use Bovada. You can do the Larson double on Bovada. That's very interesting because mainstream sports books do not allow you to parlay the same guy to win both races. Scott, the Broccoli Wad creator. Hamlin over Elliott, Barry top 5, Verstappen win, Pelot win, plus 4850. I like that one, Scott. Larson to win, Xfinity, Verstappen to win, Power to win, Briscoe to win pole. Holy shit. I wonder what those odds. Can anybody calculate what those odds are? I need to see. I bet that's pretty damn high. Anyway, somebody calculate that for me. But this is the Tan Hart Triple Crown one more time, and it's actually 4. But Will Power win top 3, top 5. I'll probably go top 3 or top 5 whenever that line's available. Briscoe top 10, Gragson top 3, Carlos Sainz podium finish. $100 wins you 14 grand in this one. When Power top 5 comes out, it'll be more like $100, wins you about $5,000, $6,000. So that is mine. I think for the Broccoli Wad, bringing back the Broccoli Wad, This is the community parlay that you guys have been trying to enter. Let's see. Briscoe W, Carlos W, plus 41,000. Max win, KFB win, Larson win 59-1. All right, these have been pretty good. I think for the broccoli wad, though, I got to go with can't do Austin Dillon. Can't do Austin Dillon in it. Just don't feel good enough. You guys put a lot of fucking good ones. Some of these are so good, but I hate the Austin Dillon one. I just don't see a top 5 out of them this weekend. They just haven't had enough speed. I like this one so much if it's not... Troy, I feel like we should take a shot on this one. I really like Denny Hamlin this weekend. I think this is the broccoli wad. This is kind of what my gut tells me is the right one. All right, Troy, congrats. You're on the broccoli wad. I don't know if you've been on here before. You might have. But this is my favorite. I can't be biased. Denny Hamlin to win the Cup race. Will Power to win the IndyCar race. Josh Berry for a top 5, and Carlos Sainz for a podium in the F1 race. $100 wins you 27 grand. I also would play around and make it Hamlin top 5, Power top 5, Berry top 5, Sainz podium is like, that feels like a fucking, as close to a lock as possible on a parlay bet. All right. Congrats, Troy. This is the broccoli wad. Alex, you're right. You got to trust your gut. I like KFB, but I don't know if I'm ready for it yet. Dale. I don't know if I'm ready for it. I want to see some practice and some qualifying first. So that's kind of where I'm at on that one. But I know Greg Mathern's on KFB, and Greg has had a way better year on NASCAR betting than me. So you should probably listen to that. If your gut's telling you that too, I'd ride it. Sounds like a winner, baby. Let's get some broccolis. Let's go. Oh, Christopher Larson, South Florida over BYU and Hamilton. I'm not gonna. This is all for Motorsports right now. I appreciate it though. It's so good to see some college football bets make the chat. I love that. But there you go. There you have it. Anybody who wants to stick around, I'm going to do a prize picks segment. I got a particular lineup that I am obsessed with for prize picks, if you can play prize picks. I'm going to do a screen share, do an interactive segment here to close this out. Good parlay segment. I feel like the energy was down a little bit. Understood. There's college football going on. A lot going on right now on this Thursday night. So I don't blame you. But I'm going to pull up prize picks right here and finish this off with an interactive segment. Remember, Prize Picks is a proud partner of the Garage Guys. And right now, if you go to prizepicks.com, you can do it actually in the link below. Prize Picks invite code. You deposit $100. Prize Picks will match you with another $100. And you don't have to even deposit $100. You deposit $20, they'll deposit another $20. You're going to get a 100% matching deposit bonus just by entering the promo code Garage Guys. You enter the promo code Garage Guys, and you'll get a 100% deposit matching bonus to play the easiest form of DFS and have some fun. Prize Picks is a lot of fun. As I've felt like DFS has gotten a little bit more stale, Prize Picks has been there and has made things a little bit more fun for us on the DFS side of things. I'm trying to get this parlay off the screen. Parlay segment is over. We're on to the Prize Picks segment. Proud partner of the Garage Guys. Really fun DFS game, and I'll get to show you guys what we have on the board right now. You can play Cup, Xfinity, Trucks. You can play Formula One as well if you're into that kind of thing. They have a whole Netflix club slate on here for Prize Picks. So after we get that out of the way, Let me get this screen share up right here. And here you go. Let's get right into it. We're going to want to do... I like this one. Let's get into it. All right, we're going to look at the board here. We're going to find NASCAR. You can combine Cup Series and Xfinity Series picks here on Prizepicks. So I'm going to go to the Xfinity Series. There's already a couple that I like. Basically, what you do on Prizepicks, you pick 2, 3, 4, or 5 players, and you take their over-unders on their projections, whether it's for NASCAR points, fantasy points, cars passed, like place differential, laps led. You can do it all once practice and qualifying is over. But before we get there, you can do NASCAR points. And NASCAR points is very, very simple. Look at the scoring chart here. Xfinity is the same as Cup. Your NASCAR points is your finishing race points plus stage win points. So the stage win points, not as much of a factor to me. Like someone like Kyle Larson, Noah Gragson, you like their overs. They could hit that over because they win a couple stages. You never know. But the primary thing here to look at is the finishing position. So I'm going to do Ross Chastain. And then I'm going to do Ty Gibbs. Both of their projected NASCAR points are at 36.5, right? So come back to the scoring chart. Let's say neither one of these guys win a stage, which I don't think they will, especially Ross Chastain. Not battling for points, not in the best race car. You're going to need them to basically finish 5th or better. Oh, I'm sorry, 4th or better. Based on their totals, you need them to both finish 4th or better. I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under with both of these guys. Big Machine Racing has drastically improved their program, but they're still not on par with what we're going to see from Junior Motorsports. And I think Ty Gibbs, I'm taking his under straight up just because it hasn't been a great track for him. I don't think he finishes in the top 4 or top 5. He hasn't finished in the top 10 in 2 career starts at Darlington. So I'm all over the under with these two guys. And if you see right here, if you only wanted to play these two, if you hit both of these, you win 3 times your entry fee. So $20 turns into $60, $100 turns into $300, but I'm going to add a couple more plays here. And I've been playing around with this. This is easily my favorite lineup on everything I've done. I put a guy on the wall named Michael McCheesedick. Take his under. The fact that he's even on this board is insane. He finished 7th here earlier this year only because of attrition. It was a race of attrition with a massive pile up. Several contenders were taken out. You cannot trust an over 26.5 points for Michael McDowell. Look back at the scoring chart here. Under NASCAR points. We know he's not going to win a stage. You need a top 15 for Michael McDowell for him to hit this over. I don't think he gets a top 15. Just don't think it's going to happen. It's been a terrible track for him with the exception of earlier this year. As I said, he got his track position because other guys crashing out. Michael McDowell, take the under. So we're on all 3 unders right here. The final guy I'm looking at is Denny Hamlin. And I'm going to take the over 36.5. For reasons I stated earlier, this is a great track for Denny. He's had really, really fast cars in 2022. If his pit crew performs decently, he for sure gets a top 5 finish. You need a top 4 out of him. I think this is a guy, if he qualifies well, he might win a stage, might win 2 stages. You get a couple bonus points there. So you add that to the pot, potentially. I love Denny Hamlin. And I don't even know if he needs the stage points that badly. So I love Denny Hamlin over 36.5. I like the unders on these other 3 guys. Ross Chastain under 36.5 for Xfinity. Ty Gibbs under 36.5 for Xfinity. Michael McCheesedick under 26.5 for the Cup Series race. And Denny Hamlin over 36.5 for the Cup race. I'm not going to do a power play. I'm going to do a flex play, which means you can have one of these miss and still win money. So if I get 3 out of 4 here, I'm going to pretend I'm going to do, I try to be a high roller. I'm going to put $100 on this. All right. If 3 out of 4 of these hit, I'm going to win $150. If all 4 of them hit, I'm going to win $500. So I'm going to play it a little bit more safer than the power play. If you do the power play and all 4 of them hit, you're going to turn $100 into $1,000. I'm leaning towards a flex play because we have seen some attrition. We've seen some crazy shit happen, especially on the Cup Series side. So I'm going to lean with the safer play and do 3 out of 4. If you hit all 4, you win 5 times your entry fee. But if something crazy happens to, and let's say Michael McDowell, same thing happens, he gets a top 12 finish. That can be your mulligan. If you hit these other 3, you can still win good money. That is my lineup for Prizepicks. This weekend, I'm running with a flex play. Chastain under, Gibbs under on the Xfinity side, McCheese Dick under on the Cup side, and Denny Hamlin over on the Cup side. That's what I would roll with for Prizepicks. Remember, go sign up. Use this link below in the YouTube description, and you can get free money to play with promo code Garage Guys. You put in 100, Prizepicks will match you another 100. Free money to play with, and it's the easiest form of DFS. So you got to consider that when you play. When you play with the Garage Guys, we love Prizepicks. Be sure to check that out. Oh, we got somebody from Twitch, Jay Willie. Appreciate you. Well, there you have it. That's Dalescenter. Man, the energy level just wasn't the same as it was at Hooters. Our energy level, psychopath level at Hooters was ridiculous. Nonetheless, still a great show, and I appreciate you all. This has been Dalescenter, episode number 11. Shout out to BJ McLeod for winning Sports God of the Week for the 8th time. 8-time Sports God champion. Love all these guys over here. Hate all these guys over here. And in particular, I really, really hate that guy, Martin Truex Jr. Welcome to prison. You're in playoff prison forever. Congratulations. Let's win some bets, motherfuckers. We got a stacked weekend of racing. Track time tomorrow begins with IndyCar. Woo! It's going to be a lot of fun, people. I appreciate you all. Appreciate the Triple Crown parlays, the broccoli wads. Good luck to my guy Troy on his broccoli wad play. Love you guys. I will see you all next weekend, next Thursday night once again. And let's get some fucking bags, baby. I feel the energy, feel good about it. Let's ride the hot streak. We got some good bets on the board, got some good Prizepicks plays. I feel a strong weekend ahead. Let's make it 2 in a row. Enjoy this awesome weekend of sports, ladies and gentlemen.